So you want to do intervals, but you don't want to sit inside because it's nice outside, or you are just itching to be outside and you just can't handle being inside anymore. I feel you. I see you wholeheartedly. I love to do my intervals on the trail. Key parts. They're not going to be perfect. They just aren't. You can't be perfect outside on the trail. Secondly, your rest parts may be longer, your rest parts may be shorter. Same thing with your pushes. They may be longer, they may be shorter. So the key part is understanding what you need to accomplish in that interval. So say that it's a sweet spot interval. You're going to go 8 minutes. Let's go. Let's say 8 minutes. So you do your warm up. You have an 8 minute sweet spot. And then you're going to have a recovery for 2 minutes and you do an 8 minute sweet spot recovery, 8 minute sweet spots. So you have 3 8 minute sweet spots that you need to go on. If you're confused about what sweet spot is, then check out this video. It'll go over what the intervals are and the zones are and how to actually apply it and how to know what zone you're in. So we have 3 different chunks of 8 minute sweet spots. We have 3 different chunks of 2 minute rests. When it comes to your sweet spots, what are the main things that we need to think about? We need enough incline that we can have a moderate to hard push. We need to make sure that we know that we are working. So is a flat trail actually going to help us? Probably not. It's not going to be enough incline. We're going to be pushing out and having to be in so hard a gear. We're going to tap out when it comes to our speed, and it's going to be a little unsafe for people that may be around us. Say if you're on a greenway. And so we need a little bit more of a hill. Now, what if you only have a hill that's 6 minutes long for sweet spot? Personally, I would say that's okay. The key part with this is that you are getting a longer period of time within that sweet spot to help you with maintaining that endurance in that interval. And so if you can only do 6 minutes there, then that's okay. You do your interval, you get 6 minutes in that, and then what if you don't have any more go? It just goes downhill from there. Right back down that hill and do it again. Do that same 6 minute thing. Now, if you get to the bottom of the hill and you still have time left in that 2 minutes, there's nothing that says that you can't do a recovery by standing still. Most recoveries say that you still need to be spinning, but it's actually just to get more spinning in. You don't actually have to spin in your recovery. And so just rest there, wait for your time clock to go, and then go again. Or if you feel like you're ready to go again, then you don't have to wait for the full time. Sometimes you do. I'm not saying that to not listen to your recovery intervals. And so you'll do that 3 times and then you'll carry on your way for the rest of the trail and you'll enjoy the rest of your ride. But you got in that main form of that sweet spot in that accountability area, in that main endurance area. Now, say that you have a sprint that you need to do. You're doing like 5 sprints, rest, 5 sprints, rest, 5 sprints, rest. And you're doing those for 3 different chunks. Again, warm up and cool down on the other side of it. And you're wondering what you need to be doing. Well, one, you probably are going to have to test out the trail. You may not have to have quite as much incline, or you may need to have about the same amount of incline that you would need for your sweet spot. This is where you might have to go try, see how much time it takes you to sprint up that section and see if it's slightly applicable. If it takes you literally 5 seconds to sprint up this area, and I want you to do a 30-second sprint, too far off. If it's more like 25 seconds, that's perfect. If it's 35 seconds, then stop at 30 and head back down the hill. Do that again and again until you've reached your 5 bits, and then you can rest at the bottom of the hill and recover, and then be prepared to do it again 2 more times. There are also sometimes that you have trails that give you a couple different sections and climbs. And so those are great trails that you can go on to. You head up that first section of climb. It may be a 35-second sprint that you can do, and then you have a longer recovery than actually what is listed. That's okay. It's okay to have a little bit longer recovery. And then you have another sprint, and that one may be more like 20 seconds long. That's okay. You're getting close. And then we have a longer section of recovery, and you have another push that's more like 35 seconds again. Again, as I said in the beginning, when you do your intervals on the trail, it's not going to be perfect. Sometimes you may have a higher cadence with your pedaling. Sometimes you may have a lower cadence with your pedaling. Sometimes it may be more technical in nature. All of these things are okay as long as you get the main idea of that interval in as you're doing your riding. If you're doing an endurance zone, so a nice, relatively easy, you know you're working some, but it's not hard, and you go out and there's a huge hill in the middle of it. What should you do? One, know what else is on your schedule. Is this your easy day? If it is, you may want to choose a different trail. If it is not your easy day and you don't have something technically planned for the next day, I think I just got bit by a mosquito. If you don't have anything planned for the next day, then you could add in that hill, but just go really slow with it. And so your cadence will be low, but that's okay. And then you'll make it up that hill and you'll have the rest of the ride to be in your endurance zone. All of it is looking at your total load for the week. What does it look like? How do you mediate and plan, and how do you apply this to your rides? I hope this helps with understanding how to apply your intervals to the trails to make sure you actually get them in, and to make sure that you are understanding the principles that that plays to your actual riding and your total time and your recovery that you might be needing. Like, you need more recovery for your sprinting. You don't need as much recovery for your endurance rides. Take note for this video coming up. It's why you shouldn't just go all hard out for every single ride. I hope you take note of that. It's coming up next week, but it may already be out if you're watching this a little bit later. Cheers, y'all.